Good morning, everybody. This is Dan Campbell with Texas Open Door Realty. Welcome to another edition of The Happy Homeowner. And I hope you are a happy homeowner. And if not, hopefully some of the things that I'm sharing in this series will help make your experience a little bit happier. We're talking about how to protest your tax assessor value on your personal homestead and also your investment properties that you have. So in the series so far, we've talked about the fact that our property taxes seem to be going up every year. And for example, my home went up 7.25% this year. In the last 5 years, it's gone up 43%, which means my taxes have been going up. And I bet yours have as well. So the thing we're going to talk about today is the protest process itself. And this is the third and what actually is going to be a 4-part series. I was going to do it in 3, but I want to on Monday do some bonus material on some funny stories and some not so funny stories of my time making appraisal protests with the county. I've done some things right and I've done some things wrong, and I want to share some of that with you on Monday morning. But today, first of all, why should you protest your property tax value? And by the way, we're not talking about protesting the amount of tax that the county charges or the city charges or the school district charges. That protest takes place, the actual percentage that they charge you on your tax valued property. That protest is in the fall when they get ready to set those values. What we're talking about is the value that the county puts on your properties every year that they are going to use in the equation for what your property tax is going to be. How to keep that lower. Why should you protest? It's been my experience as a real estate professional that people that protest their taxes year over year tend to have lower valuations than those that do not. This point was driven to me very clearly in my real estate career when I had a client who was going to list a 10-acre piece of property, and the county had it valued at $100,000. Immediately next door, there was a very similar property, same lot characteristics, same size. It was valued at $60,000. When I saw that, I called the owner of the property that was valued at $60,000, and I said, "How is it that your property tax value is so much lower than your neighbor's?" And he said, "It's simple. Every year I protest my property taxes." And sure enough, I asked my client, "Have you ever protested your property taxes?" "No, I thought that would hurt the market value of my property when I got ready to sell." And of course, that is absolutely incorrect. The market value of your property when you get ready to sell has very little to do, if anything to do, with what the tax people say is the market value of your property for the purposes of tax assessment. So protesting is a great thing. The next thing I want to talk about is how do you do this? What are the ways that you can protest your property? Well, different counties do it in different ways, but basically Williamson County does it this way. You can go online with an online property protest. That is, if the county allows that for your particular property. Then also there's a walk-in process in Williamson County that is available Monday through Thursday through April the 25th. And then if you don't make the walk-in process, then you can actually make an appointment to go talk to an appraiser. And by the way, if you have multiple properties you're going to be protesting, you definitely need to make the appointment to go in and talk to an appraiser. And then the last way you can protest your taxes is to actually hire someone or appoint someone to go in your place and as your representative. There are companies that will do this for a fee, and basically what they do is if they are successful, they collect a percentage of the amount that they were able to save you in tax, and then if they're not successful, they don't charge you anything. At least that's the ones that I have some association with. I'm sure there are others that will do it just for a flat fee as well. So what are some of the tips? What should you do? You see, protesting your taxes is not just about you showing up and saying, I don't like the value of my property, I want you to lower it. That will have very little success, if anything at all, with the county. You need to go in armed with evidence that they can use to help lower your taxes. And so the county has produced, Williamson County has produced this document called Tips for a Productive Review. I'll be glad to send it to you if you'll ask for it. It can be used in any county because these things are valuable no matter what county you're protesting in. But basically, one of the things is what's called a settlement statement. So if you have purchased your house between January 1 of the last year and March 31st of the current year that the tax is being contested, then you can actually take your settlement statement in, and that's strong evidence as to what the value of your property is. Another thing is if someone has done an appraisal. An official appraiser has done an appraisal on your property. This is for people that have they basically have refinanced their house and had to do an appraisal, or some other reason you had an appraisal done by an official appraiser. That's excellent evidence to use in the process. Another piece of evidence, and very important one, is sales of comparable properties. So this is where you can connect with your realtor. And for my clients and friends, you just let me know if you're interested and I'll help you with this. But if you have a realtor that you use, get with that realtor to get you some comparable sales. And there's some criteria that you need to use for those sales. And I'll talk about that on Monday as to what types of sales to use in the process. Also, if your property needs work prior to January 1st, of the year in question, then you can provide photographs and bring 3 bids with you into the appraisal to the protest, and that will be strong evidence that they'll be able to use to help lower the value of your property. I'll talk about that more on Monday, some of the mistakes I made in the past related to that. So there's several other tips on here that apply to not very many of us, so I want to just encourage you to get this document if you need it. You can probably get it online at the county in which you live. But these will help you greatly in the process of protesting your taxes. So if you have questions, let me know. Again, on Monday we'll do some bonus material related to the ins and outs of this. But send me a comment. Let me know what you think of this series. And look forward to seeing you on Monday morning at 10 a.m. Again, this is Dan Campbell for The Happy Homeowner.